Warning: this program contains content that is not appropriate for children. It contains vulgar language, retarded humor, and a bunch of weird-ass shit that no one will probably understand, including us. Therefore, it should not be viewed by anyone. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the first episode of Forgotten Figures. I am your host, John Christopher Wagner, and I'm here with my co-host, James Michael Wagner.
Absolute fucking tootly.
Thank you. In this podcast, we will discuss figures from many years ago, like from folklore and other sources that many people don't know about or have forgotten about, ones that basically have fallen out of the public eye. So we just want to bring attention to them because we think they're interesting, and you might as well too.
Yes, what we're going to do is grab them in the darkness and drag them back out into the light, kicking and screaming if we have to, because that's the kind of fucked up people we are. So let's get this show on the road. If you are looking at your screen right now and you're looking at the picture, you see the picture that's in front of you, you're probably wondering to yourself, you're probably asking yourself this question. Why is Kevin Spacey our first forgotten figure? Well, rest assured, folks, it is not Kevin Spacey. It is Krampus. And no, I did not say Champus, the civilian health and medical program of the Uniformed Services, which was a healthcare program of the United States Department of Defense military system, it was eventually changed to, its name was eventually changed to TRICARE, and it provided civilian health benefits for U.S. Armed Forces military personnel, military retirees and their dependents, including some members of the reserve component. It was basically the civilian care component of the military health system, although it historically also included healthcare delivered in the military medical treatment facilities. But I digress. Yes, hold on, I want to jump in for a minute. You forgot an important a part of how this podcast is going to work that I just remembered. There's a certain angle to this podcast that isn't in any other podcasts. Basically, the way this works is one person picks a figure and they conduct research on it. The other person doesn't. They might know something already, but the idea is not to do any more research so they don't know as much as the other person. And then when we do the podcast, the person who did all the research goes through everything, so they're like the expert. The other person, in this case, yours truly, is flying blind. So I am learning along about this figure as you, in the audience, fellow Forgenites, or Forgelinians. We'll see which one's least asinine out of the two nicknames. So I will now hand it back over to my partner in crime.
Okay, well, Krampus, you may have heard of him before. He was in a movie from 2015 starring Adam Scott, or you may know him as the one they call Derek from Step Brothers. And he was also in an American Dad episode, which was the first time I saw him.
And a bunch of low-budget horror movies, too.
Yes, and I think American Dad was the first time you heard of him, too, as well.
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay. Well, basically, he's one of the many companions of St. Nicholas. So,
yes, and as Roger said in American Dad, he's Santa's evil sidekick.
And hopefully his companionship with St. Nicholas is platonic.
Oh, God, I hope so. Also, for the record, I do have a limited knowledge of Krampus. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. As for his origin, it's very unclear, but it is theorized that his history goes back to pre-Christian Alpine traditions. He's depicted as being an anthropomorphic figure described as a half goat and half demon. So in a way, he's kind of like St. Nicholas's companion animal. So he's kind of like a pet, I guess. Now, as for a goat, yeah, because he's half goat, I'm wondering, can you get milk out of him? Like, goat's milk?
So you're suggesting we melt Krampus?
I guess, but
Ew!
you'll get milk out of him, but it's milk, Jim, but not as we know it.
It's evil milk.
Or it's another kind of white substance that isn't milk. But he also is also supposed to be hairy, and he usually is brown or black, his hair or fur, and he has cloven hooves, horns of a goat, and he has a long pointed tongue that lolls out, and he has fangs.
Huh, it seems like Krampus could get a job in porno doing tongueliness.
Though I think with fangs you wouldn't want him anywhere near that area.
And he might want to shave first, too.
Yeah, unless he's into that, like, freaky, like, fetish stuff with, like, people like hairy people. So, anyway, his mission or job is to punish children who misbehaved. Now, as for his arsenal of weapons that he uses to punish children with, it varies. He has a lot of different kinds of things. He is shown as carrying chains, which are thought to symbolize the binding of the devil by the Christian church, and thrashes them for dramatic effect. So, like flays them around and they make that noise. And so basically he's like into theater or drama or theatrical arts, liberal arts, that kind of stuff.
It sounds like to me he's into BDSM.
Oh yeah, like a dominatrix. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Wow, that's
Creepy.
That's some weird ass shit right there.
Oh yeah. Sometimes his chains are shown as being accompanied with bells of various sizes, like jingle bells, just things like that.
Well, it is Christmas after all. You gotta have bells, even if it is to beat the shit out of you.
And I said bells, not balls. He does not. His chains don't have testicles. So
that's where he draws the line, folks. The line must be drawn here.
Damn straight. More pagan origins suggest that he also carries bundles of birch called rutin, which he uses to beat the shit out of kids with. And he also sometimes has a sack or a basket strapped to his back to cart off evil kids, and then when he carts them off, he either does multiple things to them. He drowns them, he eats them, or he drags them to hell. So, in a short statement, Krampus is one badass motherfucker you don't want to mess with.
You don't want to fuck a stranger in the ass if it's Krampus. Bitches!
Yep, damn right. He's also sometimes is shown as having one human foot and one cloven foot. He basically would be very interested in giving foot jobs then.
Yeah, Krampus can give inconsistent foot jobs.
Okay, he also is sometimes shown as pursuing buxom women, which is, so he sometimes is depicted as like a sexual predator in a way. So I guess, therefore, he would be more like Harvey Weinstein than Kevin Spacey.
So Krampus is trying to get laid?
Yeah, I think so. So at least we all know that Krampus is all about the pussy, so at least we know that.
Well, at least he can go to Hollywood and live with all those fucking freaks.
Okay. The next fact is that there's this thing called the Feast of St. Nicholas, and it's celebrated in parts of Europe on December 6th. And on the evening of December 5th, that's called Krampus Night or Krampus Night. And he appears on the streets, sometimes accompanied St. Nicholas, and sometimes he's by himself. And he visits homes and businesses. And St. Nicholas is usually appears in Eastern Rite vestments of a bishop and carries a golden ceremonial staff. Unlike North America, unlike North America, St. Nicholas only concerns himself with the good kids while Krampus handles the bad kids. And so basically, St. Nicholas outsources some of his work to Krampus in Europe. So St. Nicholas gives kids gifts, while Krampus gives them coals and Ruten bundles. Unlike here, where Santa Claus deals with both good and bad kids.
So he sounds like he's not actually the bad guy after all. He's like the anti-hero.
Yeah, he's like the anti-hero. Like Wolverine or the Punisher or something like that. It is also customary to offer a Krampus schnapps called Krampus Lauf, which is a strong distilled fruit brandy.
Oh, it's going to be that kind of Krampus.
Yeah, it's going to be that. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of Krampus party. I have never had it. I have no idea how it tastes, but it sounds interesting. It sounds good.
And is that the basis for the Krampus milk?
I don't know.
One can only hope.
It also has been noted that Europeans have been exchanging green cards depicting Krampus or featuring him since the 1800s, which means they're really fucked up. And those Krampus cards are called Krampuskarten. And he's also not only on Christmas cards or green cards, but he's also put on postcards and candy containers.
Krampus is all about the money.
Yeah, he's like Kiss. They stick him on everything to make a quick buck.
What a sellout. How does he get around with all his merchandising and whoop asses?
I know. So when you talk about him being on greeting cards and postcards and candy containers, I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, me too.
Now, older versions of Krampus are depicted as being more frightening, like pissing your pants frightening. But in more modern interpretations of him, he's shown as being cuter or more Cupid-like creature. So he's more like the happy-go-lucky Krampus.
So they pussified him.
Yeah, in short, basically they did.
Yeah, like all good things in life.
Then there are also regional variations of him in Europe because he varies from regions on the continent.
This can't be simple. This has to be complicated and or convoluted.
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
It can never be simple with just one depiction of somebody carved in stone. This is the way it must be, and he can only be this. No, it's never like that. So
he evolves, folks.
Yeah, there are different versions of him,
dear listeners.
So in popular Christmas markets in Austrian urban centers like Salzburg, his interpretation is more tourist friendly, and he's more humorous than fearsome. Well, of course, because you have to water him down for a mainstream audience. So
I like the kick your ass Krampus better. Taking names and dropping we'll just fill that. I'll just fill that in later.
Leave it up to your imagination to fill that in.
Drop in something.
In Styria, Ruten bundles, those birch bundles I talked about previously, are presented by Krampus to families, and the twigs are painted gold, and they're displayed year-round in the house as a reminder to any kid who has temporarily forgotten Krampus. So basically, the goal is to scare your kids into submission so they'll be good. Otherwise, Krampus will come in and beat the crap out of them.
You want to imprint fear on their souls.
Yeah, you control your kids with fear. And Krampus basically, because Krampus scares them, so he scares us anyway. So if he's frightening us, imagine how frightening he is to kids. Now, in more smaller, more isolated villages, he also has other beastly companions, such as the antlered wild man figures, and St. Nicholas is nowhere to be seen.
This is new to me, dear listeners.
His companions are called Schrabmänner or Rowan. In Croatia, in many parts, he's described as a devil wearing a cloth sack around his waist and chains around his neck, ankles, and wrists. So yeah, he pretty much is into BDSM. And part of tradition is that when a child receives a gift from St. Nicholas, he is given a golden branch to represent his good deeds throughout the year. However, if the kid is misbehaved, Krampus will take the gifts for himself and leave only a silver branch to represent the kid's bad acts. So Krampus steals the presents for himself and the kid gets screwed.
Well, at least the kid has silver without having to invest in it.
Actually, if he has a silver branch, he could take that to Pawn Stars.
Yeah, the kid, you can always take it to Pawn Stars and get money for it.
Yeah, you would do that with the gold birch too. You could take it to Pawn Star.
Well, how do you authenticate it? That's an official Krampus branch.
I don't know. They have to have their Krampus expert, I guess. Now, Krampus is more of a European thing, but he does appear in North America as well. There are multiple Krampus-related celebrations which are held in cities across the continent. And these events may be focused on a specific theme or cause, be it a simple bar crawl, a toy drive, or a charity fundraiser. So even though Krampus may be scary or may, be almost like a horror movie type thing, he also can help raise money for good causes and get toys for children.
He's got a heart of gold here, or silver.
Or represent going on a honey hunt at the local bars and getting hammered. So Krampus can be used for many different things. He's a Renaissance creature.
He's truly a Renaissance figure, encompasses it all.
Yes. Now, Krampus is such a fascinating character, I think there should be a musical about him.
Hell to the yeah, motherfuckers!
It would be called A Krampus Christmas. Could you just imagine what that would be like?
Damn!
You could have all kinds of magical songs about Krampus, and you could have the things that he could beat people during the play.
Well, you'd have something for everyone. A little promiscuity, a little drinking,
nudity.
A little beating.
Nudity, but it would be tasteful, folks.
Tasteful nudity. No S&M.
And simulated sex.
Yes, because if it was a play and there's actual sex, we'd probably get arrested.
Yes, because I'm assuming that's violating some law somewhere. And then it could start on Broadway, and then it could be there for a couple of years when it's really, really popular, and then it would go down to touring Broadway. Then you could get it to
it could work its way down to the local theaters.
It would then, after being toured by the Broadway actors, touring with them playing the parts, then it could work its way down to just like no-name people doing it as it toured. Then it could eventually make its way into high schools, middle schools, and grade schools, and they could do a kindergarten version.
And then before long, you'll have the fireside saying, "A Krampus Christmas coming soon,"
or the Palace in the Dells.
Yes. Oh, by the way, the fireside is in... What city is it in again?
Fort Atkinson.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and the Palace is in Wisconsin Dells. So those are two lower theater places, which we recommend. So Krampus could eventually end up there. And I think that'd be fun for everyone. But also, besides a Krampus musical, I'm thinking there has to be a Krampus porno movie. How could you not do that?
This is porno gold. It screams porno.
I mean, you could do so many different things with them. You have BDSM, it would be like bestiality, though it would probably be some guy in a rubber suit. Or CGI, it doesn't really matter.
Well, if it's a rubber suit, you probably won't want to show it a whole lot. Less is more. I thought I'd never say that when talking about a porno. I really didn't think I would.
Yeah, and then Krampus could have all his companions in it too,
and they can share in all the sexual fun.
Yeah, so you could have Saint Nicholas and all the other companions that Saint Nicholas has. You could do your orgies or gangbangs and stuff with them. It'd be like a Christmas porno, kind of. which would be really, really weird.
Yeah, and then they could film it on, and they could, in the plot behind it, the poorly conceived porno plot could be college, as Krampus goes to college. So they could call the movie Big Man on Krampus.
Krampus.
Well, okay, that'd be a gay porno, but you know the idea.
And then, from my understanding, is the women that he pursues are pretty high quality. So
yeah, Krampus don't put up with those ugly fat chick shit.
So Krampus is down with the hot chicks. So the girls of the movie, of course, would be really good too. So then you'd have all kinds of just incredible hot action.
The hottest of the hottest caliber.
Yes. And then you could do multiple movies. You could go on like different adventures. Kind of like James Bond or something.
Now it's a porno. You don't have to think that hard about the plot line. You don't have to make it that extravagant.
But now, what would the porno music be? Would it be Christmas music?
Kind of like Christmas jazz.
Like Christmas smooth jazz.
Yeah, like you can get on demand on Music Choice.
And would it be like that 70s porno guitar stuff?
No, that's so stupid.
You would have Christmas porno smooth jazz music, and it would have like the jingle bells and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, as Krampus is plowing a super hottie.
Yeah.
Slowly and romantically, of course. Not the power driving stuff. That stuff sucks.
You could have multiple versions. You could have the romantic, slow-moving Krampus pornos, and then you could have the super fast, power-driving, take-no-prisoners pornos.
When I imagine Krampus as a jack of all trades, and by trades I mean sexual positions.
Yeah, he can do anything. Though I don't know if him giving head would be such a good idea. I mean, his tongue would work, but his fangs I'd be worried about.
Everybody has their something different that floats their boat.
Yeah, drawing blood during sex is never really a good
Who are
thing.
we to judge? But Krampus does judge.
He judges harshly.
And mercilessly.
So, Krampus is a very interesting figure that you don't see much in media today. He's kind of fell by the wayside. You see Santa Claus or St. Nicholas a lot more. He's more of a European tradition. Though I think over here, as time goes on, he seems to have been getting more popular in North America as time goes on. So I highly recommend you do more research on him and go check him out for yourself.
I'm stoked. I'm going to do my own research. It's just too fascinating to not do it.
Yeah.
It really is.
So we wanted to bring some light to him because we think he's a really neat character from folklore and that he is part of Christmas. So we just wanted to let you all know in internet world out there about his existence. So you can go see him in the America Dad Christmas episode or the Krampus movie from 2015.
Or any of the other movies.
Yeah. And he's also been in some TV shows too, or mentioned at least.
Or just look up a public domain picture.
So this is John Christopher Wagner.
And James Michael Wagner wishing you a Merry Christmas, if we haven't already, because we might not be able to do that before the Christmas season is over.
And a very happy new year.
I just want to add to that, if you like what you see, leave comments in the comment section below, and please subscribe to the channel if you really love it.
Yeah, leave comments, bitches.
And email us, too, if you so choose so. So on that note, we're going to sign off now. For John.
For John.